Shut up and sit down.
Welcome to the Bricks King podcast, where I'm going to bend your ear about Lego, review those amazing bricks of plastic, and discuss what is new and up and coming around the Lego world. I'm your minifigure ghost, Matt. Let's build on it. Welcome in, everybody. How are we doing this lovely of days here in June, mid-June? It's a perfect time of year. No, not really. It's so unbelievably hot here. I'm so ready to go to Chicago. Oh my God. Dude, get me out of the triple digits and the 80% humidity. I want to leave. It's absolutely killing me, but alas, I have to deal with it for a few more days. Anyway, with that in mind, today we're going to be talking about the Lego City missions sets. I've had these for a while. It's kind of been on a quote unquote backlog, if you will. It's something that I've been meaning to get to and record content on. And today that's why we are here. So I hope you enjoy it. And we're going to talk about these three awesome sets that have something completely different than what you really would expect for most people, but they are great in their own right. So the first one up that we're going to talk about is the 60353, the Wild Animal Rescue Missions. It's a $40 set, 30 euros, and it has 246 pieces. By the way, all of these have the same exact price point. They're all $40 and they are 30 euro. Anyway, with that in mind, the great thing about them is they give you, it's a lovely parts pack for $40. It really is. But they give kids an opportunity to be able to really sit back and enjoy a story and build and play. Yes, you build like a base model of things and then you modify it and you do it in the way that you want with the parts that you're given. And it's not like you're given 10 extra parts. You're given an oodles of parts that you have an opportunity to be able to create and really adult, kid, whoever, just really kind of put it out there in your brain. This is obviously marketed towards children. So if you're a parent, this is definitely something your kid is going to love just because it gives them that added creativity that they can push into. So the wildlife, there, of course, I'm losing words today. Wild animal rescue. Absolutely. Wild animals. So what I found interesting is you start off by building this weird truck. It's not bad until you get to the back and you're like, what did y'all do? And then you figure out, okay, I get it. But so just kind of an overview. So with missions, each of these are 8 sequences long. They don't have a regular instruction booklet. It is all digitized. And it has story elements as you go through it. And after not every bag, but after many of the bags, there's a secret item that you get to create to help you on your adventure even further. And one that you make in here is a camera because you're trying to, take photos, video, whatever, of these animals that you're tracking. You get to track the animals. So your base vehicle, they ask you to modify it to be able to track animals. And there's 3 different bullet points that they give you to kind of help you in picture and also in word so that you can kind of, as a kid or even as an adult, like I looked at it, I'm like, oh, I didn't think about that. Like when you think about tracking animals, you could think about like, satellite tracking of some kind, lights, sound. I mean, the senses. That's really what they're pushing here. Being able to work with the senses to be able to do these different things. And it really, really works well. So you're trying to track these animals. And then as you get further along into this range of this specific build, you have an owl that has gone absolutely haywire in a town, and it's sitting on top of a light post, which is something you get to build, and you get to put an owl on top, and it's holding up the traffic. Believe it or not, an owl has totally gridlocked wherever this city town is. Anyway, so you have that, but then you're trying to figure out ways, again, as a kid, even as an adult, you're trying to come up with ways of how you could capture it. Maybe you want to scare it off. Maybe you want to, I don't know, whatever you want to do. The mission is the mission, but that's just kind of like a groundwork for you that is laid. The framing of it is outlined for you. It's scaffolded, as we use in teaching. You scaffold things for kids to be able to help them get to a point, and then they kind of branch off from that scaffold. Anyway, one of the other things that I thought was awesome with this set is you get a baby panther. How are you going to get the panther? How are you going to get this baby panther? They want to know. How are you going to catch it with a net? Are you going to lure it in with food? Are you going to trank it? Maybe you're going to spray it down with water. You give it a bath or something. Again, it comes down into, you have to modify your vehicle. You have to think outside the box. You have to think about what you may have as far as your builds. And here's the thing. Here's the really cool thing about these sets. You have the opportunity to be able to build and modify whatever you want. Yes, you have a regular build for the truck. And after that, it's a generic build. You can do whatever you want. I put a giant satellite dish on it. It was awesome. It's so much fun doing it. So then you move further into the storyline, and there's a rabbit that is in a construction zone. How are you going to get this rabbit to safety? Now they have like a little set piece that you build, and you're trying to save the rabbit. Do you knock down the wall? Could you crane it out? What can you do? And the rabbit, oh my God, these pieces that you get, these animals that you get with this set are incredible. Absolutely incredible. And we're going to talk about another one here in a moment, but it's really good stuff to be able to play and enjoy and practice building techniques and practice building skills, and then just kind of getting lost in the story of how do you want to go about saving the life of this rabbit or this animal or that animal specifically for this set. Then you have a baby croc that is in need, and we get a baby croc. I'm so excited. It's so cute. It's so cute. It is. I know it could bite my fingers off and kill me, but it's so cute. Anyway, so it is a baby croc that is in need. How are you going to help this croc? Well, you go through the story, and then, like I said, it gives you these bullet points on how can you help it? How can you capture it? How can you relocate it? All those kind of things. We're not talking about shooting this thing and killing it, because that's just cruel and unusual. But the funny thing is, after that, then you've got to get the big alligator, like the full-sized alligator. How are you going to do that? Are you going to bait it? Are you going to trank it? Are you going to... I don't even know what else you could really do to get a big alligator. Obviously, it's Lego, so there's umpteen million ways of doing so. But it's the fun behind it. The next one on the docket here is 60354. It is the Mars Spacecraft Exploration Missions. Again, $40, 30 euro, 298 pieces, a few more pieces. This one is cool. This is neat because you are... if you think about space travel, and in this world, in this universe, I wouldn't even say universe, but in this realm of the universe, this part of the universe, we have barely touched space travel in the distance that is out there, the infinite distance that is out there. And what is really neat is you get to build a main ship, not a big deal, not super amazing, awesome, just a basic ship. And then you're building boosters on it because you got to travel. You got to be able to move from here to there. How are you going to be able to build your boosters? You have multiple ways of building boosters. You make big ones. You can make flame ones. Now, there are no flames in space because there's no oxygen in space, right? It's snuffed out. Fire needs oxygen to breathe. That's why they use halon extinguishers in numerous applications. It's an oxygen displacer. Anyway, I know that because working in the military, we had them everywhere. But with that in mind, you have this story, you have these characters, and the characters are really well done. And some of them fall under the city stuff, especially with the next one where we talk about the police detective stuff. Those, like Duke Detain, those are more synonymous with the Lego City cartoon series. Kids know those. Hell, even some adults know those. So you build boosters. Moving along in the missions, you actually get to build a robot dog? Hello? I need a robot dog in my life. How cool would that be, huh? No poo that I have to pick up. Don't have to feed it, water it. I might have to charge it, but that's about it. Hell, I can do that. Make my life much easier. It's not very soft and friendly, though, I don't think. I'm not going to get in that tangent anyway. So then you have a build that you need to do to stop an asteroid. An asteroid that is plummeting towards the Earth, the universe that you are a part of, and you don't want to die. How are you going to stop this asteroid? And again, bullet points that they give you, different ideas, and they show you in picture, they show you in word form, to be able to stop an asteroid. And it's really fun. It is really cool to just take pieces and just be creative. Go back to your 6, 7, 8-year-old self. Again, 8-year-old in a 38-year-old body. You go back to that point in your life and you're like, I'm going to build this. It doesn't have to look amazing and pretty. It doesn't. It's what you make it in your head, in your play, in your fictional reality, if that makes any sense to you. The next thing you have coming up is the building something to catch Jamie. Jamie is one of the, or it could be Jaime, maybe? It is Jamie. I think Jaime spelled differently. Anyway, you have that. So you're trying to catch Jamie that's floating out in space. Oh my God, we got to catch Jamie. How are we going to do this? How are you going to build? You're going to build a tether? You're going to build an arm? You're going to build all kinds of, a net? You're going to catch Jamie in a net? You could. Then you build something to land on Mars and you get to plant the flag, which is the bonus here. Oh my God, it's so cool. It is not the bonus, but it is the extra piece that you get to build that aids you in your mission. Oh my God. Building to land on Mars. I've thought about Mars forever and a day from when I was a little kid. As an adult, it kind of gets pushed way back in your brain housing group. You're like, I'm not really worried about Mars. I'm worried about taxes and the price of fuel, right? We've all been there. The fantasy land stuff to a certain point, you're like, get out. There's no more room in my brain. You need to go. But with that in mind, you get to land on Mars. You get to pretend that you're landing on Mars and play and stuff like that. And you get to plant the flag, the Lego flag, obviously, not a nation flag. You could. There are nation flags that are out there in different speed champion sets of the past. Anyway, so you do have that. And it's really cool. It's a lot of fun. Now, one of the things that I found interesting is all of these modules, at the end of the 8 modules, you get bonus play where it gives you different things that you can do, and you can create different things, and you can extend your play experience. Like with this one, you can set up a base colony on Mars, using the things that you have. Maybe you want to tear your spaceship down and use it for something else. You can actually do that. It is giving you a framework, a scaffolding to be able to do that, to extend play, to not just say, hey, it's done here, because all along these 8 modules, all they're doing is getting the brain fired up, right? The brain just, when you wake up in the morning, the brain just doesn't immediately go, boom, I'm ready to go to work. Let's do it. It needs some exercising, just like the human body does. You need to exercise before you start doing things, right? Before strenuous activity and such. The brain needs the same thing. So this, to me, especially in my teacher brain, this is like a warm-up for kids. And they're getting ready to go, and you get to the end of the modules and they have all these ideas. If you've ever sat down and talked with any kid from the age of 3, or a kid that can talk the whole way up till, I'd say probably around, 10, before they start outgrowing things and are like, I'm too cool for this. Some, not all. I mean, again, me, giant child. But with that in mind, you have an opportunity there. And if you spend 5 minutes talking to a kid about what is going on in their brain, you would be absolutely amazed. And what is cool about it, especially working with kids like I do, you have that opportunity. I have that opportunity, and you can hear or you can see the mouse wheel going in the brain. You can see the gears shifting and moving around and stuff like that. And all these creative ideas that are coming off of something so basic. Like, hey, we're going to build a spaceship. Well, we can fly our spaceship to Pluto. And did you know that Pluto, I mean, you get all that kind of stuff. And it's incredible. All this does is constantly stimulate the brain, which is healthy. It's perfect. I love what this is for kids. I think it's cool for adults, because when I was building these, Each of these 3 sets, by the way, they are in boxes that are open and closable. So, it's not like a normal kind of Lego box where you open it. It can actually close. It's got tabs and stuff on it. So you can put your extra pieces in there. You can put your builds in there, and you can store them if you want it. Anyway, what is nice is you have these ideas and you can actually go back and instead of being like, I have to follow the instructions. Okay. You follow the instructions to build a main base and then you run from there and you have a lot of fun. And that was hard for me to do, to break the mold. That was absolutely difficult for me to do because I'm very much I want to build by the book and I want to be done. I'm not a mock builder. Why? Because I just don't ever look at it and say, oh, that's great. That's perfect. That's awesome. I'm more so, let me look at how they build this. Let me enjoy the experience. And that's it. But this was different and it was fun. The last one is the 60355, the Water Police Detective Missions. Again, $40, €30. There's been a theft of items off of a boat. Who steals stuff off a boat? Honestly. But there's a clue left behind. You got to take the clue and you got to run with it. And that leads you into the missions. That's where you get into some of the characters. And Duke Detain is in here. He's on the case. Duke Detain is ready to go. Let's get some bad guys. Let's get them off this boat. Let's capture these guys and take back what is rightfully whoever lost their stuff. Johnny down the road. And what is kind of neat is you're going through and you're improving your boat like you did with the space shuttle and your wildlife vehicle. You're improving it. You're improving it to be able to search and locate clues. Maybe you need lights. Maybe you need like a giant dish, radio dish to be able to hear. Maybe you need a big microphone or a megaphone. There's all kinds of different things that you can go and do to be able to accomplish the mission. That's the end goal. You're trying to accomplish the mission. Did you do it? You don't have to do it by what Lego is saying. Do it your way. They're just, like I said, giving you the framework, giving you scaffolding to it. So you improve your boat. You're working on these clues. You're like, where is this criminal at? Could they be underwater? I don't know. Could they be up in the air? I don't know. You're constantly thinking. And what happens when you allow kids, especially, to be able to really sit and think and how they want to address a problem, you would be amazed at how much they really know about fixing an issue. Way more simplistic than what you and I make it. And in many times, it's the best way. They're not burdened with all the other stuff. Anyway, you get Copper, who is a police dog. So you could use Copper in there. Oh my God, I love Copper. He's so cute. I'm assuming it's a boy. It could be a girl. Either way, incredible dog. Great thing to have here. And then you get to build these endless devices because, again, you're searching for criminals. You're doing all this kind of stuff. But here's the kicker. You get to turn your boat into a submarine. Incredible. Why? Because you're doing something that it was semi-natural. Many of us have been on boats, maybe not as many kids. Very few of us have ever been on a submarine, even if it's just barely under the water, like you go down in the Caribbean and stuff like that. Very, very few of us have ever done something like that. So it's great to be able to get into that headspace and really enjoy building something such as that. Because then you talk about like the water environment and how wild and crazy that is because we've only explored how much of the oceans? Just a wee bit. Anyway, and you got to catch a thief. You got to catch your thief. Absolutely, you have to. And then you have your hot dog hump day. Yep, hot dog hump day. It's weird. It is weird. It's absolutely weird. But it is the thing. So this set was not my favorite. I like breaking away from characters in shows. Even with Ninjago, even though I love Ninjago, I've loved it forever. Being able to break away and just have kind of standard minifigs, even if they have names, that's fine, but they're not attached to a series. There's something really enjoyable about that. Something relaxing about that. I don't have to put these characters into their perceived personality on the show. I can just let them be whoever I want them to be in my mind. And you could do that anyway. Kids do that anyway for the most part. But, there's a certain way of play. If they're kind of scripting things out, Duke Detain. Well, Duke Detain isn't suddenly going to be a bad guy. He could be. But, kids see him as, no, he's the good guy. He's the really, really good guy. He's the Spider-Man of Lego City, except he's not a superhero. So while I like this set for what it is and what it does have to offer, it is definitely not my favorite of the three. My favorite of the three, it's tough. I really like the animal wildlife one just because of the animals that you get. I really, really like the Mars spacecraft one just because you're landing on Mars. You're doing a whole bunch of different things involving space and exploration. And it's kind of a tie for me for the most part. It's like 1A, 1B. And in no specific order, just 1A, 1B. They are just, they're something that you have fun playing with it. You have fun building it. You have fun going through the missions and stuff like that. And they're not long. They're not long at all. And they're super simple. But there's just something about it. So there is that. But these are currently available. I've had these now for a few weeks. And again, like I said, I've just been trying to get to them. And I got to them, but then creating content on it is a whole nother thing. And especially when you're dealing with electronic stuff where you have digitized content that goes along with the set, that changes the ball game completely. And I thought about adding in some of the audio and I was like, no, it's going to be too much. I'd rather you experience it for yourself. Even if you only pick up one of them, discounted, full price, whatever, even if you only pick up one of them, I think it's really going to be something you enjoy. Me personally, I would probably buy the one that has all the animals just because it has all the animals. I'm a giant animal lover. And I'm a Lego animal lover, and I'm a Lego animal collector. So absolutely one of the top ones for me. But with that in mind, I'm going to sign off for this episode. Remember, heading out to Chicago here in a few days. Remember, we will be doing some live stuff on Saturday. I think it's the 18th. We'll be there all day. We'll be doing some live stuff. Some of it you'll hear the week after it gets edited up. Same thing on Sunday. Some of it will be live, some of it won't be. But we will be live during the LegoCon, which again comes on at 12 Eastern time or 9 a.m. on the West Coast or 11 Central if you're like me. Myself, April B, will be doing a rundown of everything and just kind of hopefully technology works. That's always the thing about doing remote shows. It always, like 2 nights, 3 nights, 4 nights ahead of time, I'm not sleeping, especially the night before. I'm not sleeping because all I'm thinking in my head is, okay, is this going to work? Is this going to work? How's this going to work? Am I going to have a problem with that? How am I going to fix it if I have a problem? And that's just what you deal. That's what you deal with. But with that in mind, tune in, check it out. Even if you don't listen to the show live, go back and check it out. There's going to be great content, great analysis that you're going to want to hear, especially about LegoCon. And I've got some teasers already handed to me, which I cannot share with you, unfortunately, but you guys will not be sad by LegoCon this year. I promise you want to tune in to the opportunity here to be able to hear and see things. Hopefully things are shown. But with that in mind, I'm going to wrap up this episode. And as always, I'm your Minifigure host, Matt. Let's build on it.